move at the end of this kickoff from Frank Corral. He is averaging better than 20 yards a return. And the Falcons always get an emotional lift from the little guy, and we'll see what he can do now. The Rams have won 5 straight coming in. They lead the division, and it's a high, almost a pop fly to Reggie Smith at the 9, to the 20, to the 25, still on his feet, and fights his way out across the 30-yard line. Mike Gooman, along with Carl Eckern, making the tackle. So Atlanta will have these men up forward, and what a job they have. Ken, Scott, Van Note, Thielman, Bryant, and Miller. The quarterback, Steve Bartkowski, with Andrews and Kane, the running backs. Francis and Jenkins, the wide receivers. Junior Miller, the tight end. So Bartkowski will put it in play. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Out of the eye, and in motion goes Wallace Francis. He's picked up by Pat Thomas. And it'll be the second man, Lynn Kane, who is buried at the 25. Reynolds came in and missed the tackle, but there were so many holes up front that the Rams swallowed him up. So a loss of 5 on the first offensive play. Here are the Rams defensively. Jack Youngblood along with Jones, Brooks, and Dreyer. The linebackers, Jim Youngblood along with Reynolds and Brodzinski. At the corners, you have Thomas and Perry with the strong safety Johnson and the free safety Cromwell, who was playing with a bad hand. So it'll be 2nd and 13 on the Atlanta 27-yard line. Kane is a wide receiver to the right, and Bartkowski going over to the left side, picked up a yard maybe to Alfred Jenkins. He's dropped at the 31. Bartkowski figures to throw the ball a lot, so we asked Nolan Cromwell how he felt the Rams would defense Atlanta. And Cromwell, as you can see, gesturing over to the sideline, so we'll keep an eye on him. So a big 3rd down play now for Steve Bartkowski. Bartkowski looking right under a rush, now throws it away, no good. Almost one-handed by Cromwell, and he's playing one-handed today. Nolan's right hand is heavily taped. So Bartkowski on the first series not only unable to move the ball even a yard, actually lost a couple of yards, and it could be an ominous beginning, as going deep now is Leroy Irvin for the Rams, standing on his own 30-yard line. Johnny James, who has kicked 32 times and only once into the end zone. His longest 59, and James will be kicking from his own about the 25 by the time he gets through with the kick. High snap, no pressure, however, and James kicks it even higher, and a fair catch by Irvin at the 25. He fumbles but recovers. Actually a muff, and he just dropped on the ball.
Then he had a 5.1 hang time, which is excellent. That's why the fair catch was called. The Rams defense dogged on the first play. So far, the Rams defense has dictated to Bartkowski.
There's the offensive line for the Rams. Franson Hill, Saul Smith, Slater, and the tight end Victor Hicks. In the backfield, Ferragamo with Peacock and Bryant, the running backs. Waddy and Denard are the wide receivers. And we'll see now what the Atlanta Falcon defense can do against a high-powered Ram offense. Denard goes left with Waddy in motion to the right. Peacock is the deep man, and with Cullen Bryant blocking, he goes inside Bryant's block, but a good play made off Bryant's block to make the tackle at the 30-yard line by Glazebrook.
2 things here. Ferragamo's an impatient quarterback. He's an excellent long thrower. He's a bomber. I don't think he's going to be content to run that football and establish a running game. He wants to get on the scoreboard in a hurry.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 for Vince Ferragamo. Denard again going left, and Waddy once more in motion right with Bryant and Peacock. Both backs release, and the quick out and the catch by Denard as he gets out of bounds ahead of Kenny Johnson's tackle, and he picks up the 1st down. So the Rams make it look easy, and the Falcons had all kinds of trouble.
Yes. In the games we've done, everybody has picked on the Falcons' right corner, number 37, Johnson. He's playing deep. You run a 4-yard, 5-yard out, pick up 5 yards. Good football. It's just like a running play, except you throw the short out. As long as he stays deep and doesn't get any help, Ferragamo will go to the well.
With Denard making the reception and stepping out of bounds, they have measured, and it appears now as if they are several inches, not even a foot, but inches from a first down. So Ferragamo has it a second and less than a foot. There you can see a couple of inches. The officials for today, Jerry Markwright is the referee. And then you have Ed Piffick along with Dale Hammer, Bama Glass, Tom Kelleher, Willie Spencer, and Bill Stanley. So third down, less than a foot. And he will try Peacock, and he has the first down as he gets out to about the 40-yard line.
The Rams brought in their two tight end offense with number 75 Pankey. They went straight ahead, just end blocking, lead blocking by the fullback. Good sound football. When I see number 75 in there, then I always think of Deacon Jones.
Oh, I'm sure you do, George. Well, the Rams have had their way with Atlanta. They've beaten them 21 times, lost to them only 4, so they're in the habit. Peacock spinning, and down he goes, stymied at the 40-yard line, and then on a second effort maybe fell forward for a yard or so.
Then what the Falcons are doing, they have a 34 defense, 3 down linemen, and they're blitzing one of their linebackers, and that's what took place there. You don't get a pass rush with 3 men. You have to send a 4th man in there to put any pressure on the quarterback.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 9 on the Ram 41. The early going, no score in the ball game. Denard goes left and Waddy wide right. The tight end Victor Hicks is on the right side. Play action fake, and Ferragamo with time to set up and throw deep in the end zone, intended for Denard, broken up and almost intercepted by Tom Pridemore. Pridemore and Kenny Johnson, and Pridemore had his hands on it but couldn't quite hold on to it.
That's just what we talked about the previous series. Ferragamo, play action, throws the bomb, very impatient, wants to get on the scoreboard early. Good coverage, inside, outside. No interference, no judgment call.
Had Denard not gotten one hand in there, Pridemore would have definitely made the reception. So Preston made a good play. Now you had Drew Hill, who went to school here at Georgia Tech, wide left. The Rams go slot right with Denard inside Waddy. And Ferragamo both backs out. Deep down the left side, juggle caught by Richardson, and Richardson is going to be still on his feet and knocked out of bounds in Ram territory. Al Richardson, who went to school here in Georgia Tech, has made a key interception.
Well, Ferragamo throws into a crowd here. He rifles the ball right in there. Here it is. The ball's high. And anytime a ball is thrown high, you have a chance of a deflection. And that's what happened. The first big break of this game gives the Falcons field position. Let's see if they can take it back.
George, let's take a look at why that interception occurred.
Good protection, 3-man rush. Ferragamo throws high. When you throw high, you have the deflected ball. The man was open. A good pass could have been completed. Big play for the Falcons. Now, when you get a break like that, you have to take advantage of it.
Well, we'll see about taking advantage. The Falcons 1st and 10 on the Ram 41-yard line. Kane and Andrews behind Bartkowski. Jenkins is left and Francis right. And Bartkowski just does get it away. No good. Intended for Junior Miller, the tight end, at the 25-yard line.
He had Junior Miller open. The ball was thrown low into the ground, but also Bartkowski was under pressure. We talked at the start of the show about the offensive line of the Falcons. I think this is the best offensive line the Rams have faced to date. However, both Youngblood and Dreyer had pressure on Bartkowski. That's why the ball was underthrown.
Last year, the Falcons allowed 54 sacks. They've only given up 12 in 7 games this year. 2nd and 10 on the 41. Bartkowski inside handoff to Andrews, but the Rams read it. Jim Youngblood, Fred Dreyer, Cody Jones, they're all there.
You know a problem you have? The Rams play the run so well, then, that with the present rules on pass defense and pass offense, many times it's almost a waste of a down to try to run the ball. Now, you have to run enough to take the pressure off the quarterback.
So suddenly it's 3rd and 11 back on the Ram 42-yard line. And Bartkowski trying to come up with something. He has Alfred Jackson now going wide right. Andrews all alone behind Bartkowski. Kane in a slot left. Bartkowski has his man, Junior Miller. Johnny Johnson finally brings him down as he got across the 35, but he still needs about 2.5 to 3 yards for a first down.
Well, Bartkowski read the dog. The Rams are doggy. And he gets the ball off to Junior Miller, who is a tremendous addition to this football team, but he doesn't pick up the first down. Here it is. The Rams dog on this play. Falcons pick it up, but he has to get the ball off in a hurry. They're going for it.
So it'll be 4th and 2 on the Ram 33-yard line. Francis wide right, Jenkins left, and Bartkowski giving to Andrews, and it would appear as if he made the first down. They're going to measure, I think, but it looks like he made it from here.
You know, Andrews' best play, Vin, is straight ahead, direct hitting plays. In the games that we've studied, he starts quickly, and he picks a hole pretty well.
You know, in his last game against the Rams, Andrews was held to only 28 yards on 13 carries, but he picked up the first down on that one. So he has a lot at stake because this year, Andrews is averaging a little better than 5 yards a rush. That's the best mark among NFC rushers who have gained 250 yards or more. William Andrews, second year from Auburn. He also has caught 25 passes, so keep an eye on number 31, William Andrews.
And he's also an excellent blocker.
The Rams are minus Doug Smith. He was hurt in the early going when the Rams had the ball, and he might not be back, out with a knee injury. Bartkowski ready to release, then throws on the run, completed to Jenkins, tackled by Perry inside the Ram 15-yard line. He'll spot it at the 14. First down.
This play shows something. It shows the good pass protection that Falcon line has given Bartkowski, and it shows his ability now to move around and find the open man and get the first down.
And, of course, most people don't think about Bartkowski scrambling at all and moving around, but he just bought himself a little time and hits Alfred Jenkins. Jenkins upended by Rod Perry. First and 10 on the Ram 14-yard line. In motion is Wallace Francis to the left. So he's over there with Jenkins. They give to Big Andrews, but he is stymied maybe a yard or two. At the bottom is Jack Reynolds, and on the top would appear to be Cody Jones.
Then Mark Mosley just kicked a 50-yard field goal. The Redskins are leading the Saints 3-0 in the first quarter.
So to the Ram 12-yard line, that makes it 2nd and 8. Atlanta capitalizing on an interception by Al Richardson. He returned it to the Ram 41-yard line, and now they have it 2nd and 8 on the Ram 12.
He likes Junior Miller in this area on a crossing pattern.
Francis in motion, then loops and goes back the other way. Bartkowski looking for Francis, going down in the end zone, and it is intercepted by Perry.
Well, Perry had the receiver covered all the way. Here it is. Going back, time to throw. But watch the position Perry has. The ball shouldn't have been thrown. It was a dangerous pass, and that's what happens.
The 6th interception for Bartkowski this year. Steve Bartkowski completing his 6th interception of the year, George.
They used motion, short motion, not changing their strength. It didn't fool Rod Perry at all. He has outside position on Francis all the way. No chance to complete that ball. It should have been overthrown. That's a real great defensive play for the Rams, and it can take the starch out of the Falcons right now.
Redskins leading the Saints 3-0 as you saw. 1st and 10 Rams on their own 20-yard line. Waddy goes right, Denard is left, and they will try Cullen Bryant. He bumps into the right side, and down he goes. He might have picked up a yard, and that's all. So you read a lot about Bartkowski, and you hear a lot about his growth and his maturity, but as soon as he was tested under fire, he threw the interception.
Exactly. He threw that ball right into the hands. No chance to get it. Perry you have to give Perry the credit, but it was bad judgment on Bartkowski's part to put it up. You at least want to come away with a field goal attempt when you're inside of the 20.
So it is 2nd and 9 on the Ram 21-yard line. Denard in a slot right inside Waddy. And now it's Denard in motion to the left. Ferragamo giving to Peacock with Bryant blocking, but Glazebrook brings him down. And Bob Glazebrook, number 36, made a big play. He's a youngster you might not know much about from Fresno State. And he fought off Cullen Bryant and made the tackle. Big play.
This young Falcon defense, especially their linebackers, are very active. They strung the play out very well. The Rams haven't been able to run the football at all. With Ferragamo at quarterback, the Rams are a big play team going for the bombs, and that's what the Falcons have to do, stop the bombs first.
3rd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Both backs release, and Ferragamo going for a big chunk, throws it into the hands of Roland Lawrence, and he's at the 30, 25, 20, 15, cutting to the 10, spinning to the 5-yard line. Roland Lawrence makes the second interception of Ferragamo. And what was that question we asked Vince about pressure with Hayden watching? It looks like he's forcing it.
Yes, it does, Vin. Again, he had the receiver open, but he overthrew him. Threw the ball. Let's see if we can see it again. Here it is. He has the time. He has the protection. Now watch, the ball is overthrown, way overthrown. Now, the Falcons have to take advantage of this. You can't give your offense, Ben, great field position and get nothing.
Well, a great field position is an understatement because the Falcons will have it 1st and goal on the 6. Ferragamo now had come into this game with a half a dozen interceptions, and he's thrown 2 so far. A breather for the Falcon defense now, and let's see about the Birds in the offense. Bartkowski with 3 backs. Mayberry is in there now. They're going to give it to Andrews, and he squirts across the 5 to about the 4-yard line with Andrews and Mayberry blocking for Lynn Kane. The Giants leading 3-0 on a field goal from Joe Danello from 28 yards out.
They have 3 backs in. Mayberry, number 39, is the 3rd back, a Trey backfield. It's power running. Again, 3 backs. The Rams have come in with their jumbo defense.
2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. The middleman is Andrews, but they're going to go to Mayberry. He's going wide. Reynolds has him, and they knock him out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Boy, that Ram defense is tough to score on. It's tough to get a yard against them. To score, to make yardage in here, you have to have the speed to go wide. Look at Jack Reynolds. Good position on him all the way. Now, what do you do? Play action, or do you run the ball?
3rd and goal from the Ram 2-yard line. And again, 3 backs behind Bartkowski. The middleman is Andrews. Mayberry on his right, Kane on his left. They're going to go a bad handoff, evidently, and a flag on the play. Bartkowski stumbled, it seemed.
It looked like he tripped. They didn't even get to the line of scrimmage.
Illegal procedure against Atlanta. So the Falcons had it 1st and goal on the Rams 6 on Roland Lawrence's interception, but they're sputtering against a very tough Ram defense.
You refuse this penalty. You don't want to give them another shot for a touchdown.
And we're looking now, if they lose the down, we're wondering about Tim Mazzetti. In case you're thinking about Mazzetti in field goals, Mazzetti is 9 for 10, but what is somewhat surprising, Mazzetti has not kicked a field goal in his last 2 games.
Well, that surprised me, Ben.
Motion number 68, offense, 3rd down.
So the Rams accept the penalty. The illegal motion was against R.C. Thielman. That means it is 3rd and 7 instead of 4th and 2. Jackson goes wide right. Junior Miller backing off, and now the tight end Miller is in motion. Francis and Jenkins on the left. Bartkowski is looking Miller, and he's got Jackson for a touchdown. George, an honest question. Would you second guess the Rams?
Well, Well, I said it at the top right away. You don't give them another shot down there. You settle for 3 points or possibly blocking a field goal. Whenever they're giving you the ball, my rule then was whenever they're giving you the ball, I want to take it. I don't want to commit a foul. I don't want to give another shot.
For Alfred Jackson, his 4th touchdown reception of the year. For Steve Bartkowski, his 14th. That would get him even with Ron Jaworski. John James is the holder now for Tim Mazzetti. The spot, the kick. It is good. No, it's no good. No good. As it suddenly peeled off.
Now, here's the touchdown again. Junior Miller is dynamite down here because he has the speed. You're usually one-on-one. He's wide open.
I gotta show you my new car. The sporty new 1981 O'Malley.
Cherry, that's the new 81 Cutlass Calais.
Oh, sure. Oldsmobile had it built. But it's me. Has sporty written all over it. And it's a good sport on gas with that standard V6 engine. Yeah, it's built for me, okay.
We've had one built for you.
O'Malley.
Cutlass Calais.
Oldsmobile.
Thanks.
Taste the high country. Taste the high country.
Once you taste the high country, no downstream beer will do. Coors is brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water and its own special high country barley.
It's no downstream beer.
It's no city beer. It's Coors.
Taste the high country. Climb up to Coors.
What's going on below Flo's Yellow Road?
Oh, you slimy vermin!
A little skunk goes a long way on the season premiere of Flo, Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Now, Mazzetti misses this extra point. He missed one last week, then, against the Saints. They went in at halftime behind 14-13. You can't miss an extra point. You got to make it.
Well, he didn't, so it is 6-0 Atlanta. And now a high kick and a very short kick. And it will be fielded by Drew Hill at the 20. He's out across the 30 and down at the 34-yard line. So Drew Hill, tackled by Ray Strong. And, of course, Hill went to school here at Georgia Tech.
Now, what has happened is that Ferragamo has thrown 2 bad balls. 2 high passes. He hasn't been able to get his running game going. The Rams are very fortunate they aren't behind 10-0 or 14-0 because the Falcons have had field position.
So on a 7-yard pass to Alfred Jackson from Steve Bartkowski, it's 6-0 Atlanta. Now let's see what the Rams can do on their own 34. First and 10. Denard inside Waddy on the right. A quick handoff to Peacock. He's out across the 35, and they would appear to stack him up at the 38-yard line. He'll have to get to the 44 for a first down. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience, and the rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited.
We talked about Ferragamo being impatient, going for the home run. Let's see what he does this series.
2nd and 7 on the 37-yard line with Denard in a slot right inside Waddy. It's still Bryant and Peacock. And the backs, although they flare out, they'll set a little screen for Peacock behind Hara and Hill, and he gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Ferragamo then calls his own game, and he's been doing a fine job. Now, this was an excellent call. He's gone deep. He's been burned. He shows pass on a passing down. And it's a quick screen to Elvis Peacock. Very good call, even though he didn't make much in the way of yardage.
Well, that'll move the ball out to the Ram 41-yard line, so it's 3rd and 3 for Ferragamo. Waddy goes right and Denard left. Victor Hicks, the tight end, is on the left side. Both backs release. Ferragamo bluffing, setting up, throwing to his tight end, Victor Hicks, and he must have heard Tom Pridemore. It seemed like he took his eyes off the ball.
He did. Pridemore forced that fumble. Now, Ferragamo had all day to throw. Great pass protection. Looked the field over. He threw to the right man, but the ball was jarred loose.
Frank Corral, who's averaging a little better than 41 yards a punt in his 29 kicks this year. And the deep man standing just inside the Falcon 20-yard line is little Reggie Smith.
Reggie has an average of 10.6 on every punt return.
So Corral belts it to Reggie's right. It's going to hit inside the 20, and he's going to take it at the 10, and he's going to pay a bill for it. And charging down there was Lucius Smith, number 23, and Ivory Sully. So with 1:28 left in the first quarter, it is 6-0 Atlanta.
Just imagine if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX, it could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
When some people send a package by Federal Express for the first time, they never expect it to work. They're so used to getting chewed out for not getting a package there the next day, they expect it to happen with Federal, too. So they wait. And they wait. And they wait. And they wait. For the complaint that never comes. Federal Express, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
See the battle of the NFL cheerleaders. Plus the courageous Acapulco Cliff Divers next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
So the Falcons leading 6-0 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Bartkowski will put it in play 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 15-yard line. Wallace Francis is wide right. Alfred Jenkins goes wide left. Junior Miller is on the right side, but they'll stay on the ground with Andrews. And Andrews across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Now here's the offensive line. Watch the left tackle, 78 Ken. Straight ahead, 1-on-1 on 89 Dreyer. Again, direct hitting plays. That's the best type of play for Andrews. Quick starts, straight ahead.
So 2nd and 4 on the Atlanta 21 as Andrews picked up a big 6 on that carry. Kane and Andrews in motion as Francis to the left, picked up by Rod Perry. They will try Andrews. Inside block by Lynn Kane. Swings him across the 30. Lynn Kane was able to throw the block, and Andrews got the first down.
Now watch the offensive right tackle, 66 Bryant. Take Youngblood in. He's going in. He buries him, and a good block by Lynn Kane, 21 on 53. Kane's a good blocker. Again, I'll repeat, this offensive line is the best the Rams have played to date.
Lynn Kane, of course, coming off 3 knee operations, went to school at USC and did an awful lot of blocking for the Trojans until he ran a lot in his senior year. So 1st and 10 from the 32. Here comes Andrews, and he's the horse today. Still on his feet across the 40 to the 43-yard line with Johnson and Cromwell finally having to bring him down.
Here's Andrews. Direct hitting play. Picking a hole. Watch him keep those legs and feet moving. Driving forward. Good body balance.
Fred Dreyer was injured on the play, and Reggie Doss has had to come in as you look at them bumping heads in the middle of the line. And there's Andrews bumping into people and then springing, and on his neck was Cromwell to finally bring him down. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 44, so they traveled 29 yards on the ground in this sequence. On a blitz, Andrews is stacked up. It was Johnson, a safety blitz, that brought him down.
And then that's a very good run defense. You're having trouble stopping the run. So you blitz, you fill all the gaps. Wherever the running back goes, it's sealed off. Good counter for that running game. Now, what the Falcons have done, they had bad field position. They moved it out to midfield with nothing but straight, basic football.
There's Fred Dreyer, George, who was banged up, but apparently okay. While he catches his breath, Reggie Doss is in there. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 44. Jenkins with Francis in the slot. Junior Miller, the tight end, on the right side. Bartkowski has time. Looking, and he has Kane, who's out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Well, then you said a good word there. He has.
The start of the second quarter here in Atlanta, with the Falcons leading the Rams 6-0. It is a 4th and 1 on the 47-yard line of Los Angeles as Ray Malavasi looks on, and John James will be kicking to Johnson and Irvin, the deep men for Los Angeles. And John angles it to the right side. Johnny Johnson coming up at the 20 and is immediately knocked out of bounds by Tom Pridemore, who's been all over the field today.
You know, Ben, the Rams did a smart thing. They put 2 punt return men back because of his ability to kick out of bounds so well. Put Johnson and Irwin back there. He had to kick to one or the other.
So it's 1st and 10 on the Ram 24. You can see the Redskins picking up another field goal, so Mark Mosley's busy, this time from 28 yards.
28-yard field goal by Mosley.
So 1st and 10 on the Ram 24-yard line. Peacock and Bryant. Waddy is wide right and Denard goes left. Victor Hicks, the tight end, is on the left side. Ferragamo looking down the right side. All alone is Waddy, and he made the catch going out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Well, a good call. Fake the run. Fake to the fullback, 32. A deep out. Well thrown. A little bit high, but well thrown. Ferragamo needs a few of those to get back in the groove.
As you can see, Atlanta held on to the ball thanks to 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Had it for over 9 minutes, and the Rams about 5.5. 1st and 10 on the Ram 42. They picked up 18 yards on the pass, and Peacock is upended. And the fellow who did the upending is number 75, Jeff Merrow, out of West Virginia.
He had a tremendous game last week, I thought, against the Saints. He's playing good football. And he knifed in there, made the play.
One thing we should keep in mind, the Atlanta Falcons defensively have given up 17 touchdowns this year, 14 of them through the air. That's really one-sided. So the line has done its job. The secondary has been porous. It is 2nd and 9 on the Ram 43. Peacock and Bryant with Waddy going right and Denard left. This time on a draw to Peacock. He runs into a couple of red shirts, and down he goes at about the 46.
Another good call by Ferragamo. That's the first draw he has used today. 2nd down. Good time to run the draw. 2nd and long.
So now a 3rd down and 6 from the 46. 6-0 Atlanta early in the second quarter. The Rams trying to get a move on. Roland Lawrence boxing in Billy Waddy. Fumble by Ferragamo. And the Rams recovered. Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. And what the Falcons did there, they went into double coverage. They doubled both of the wide receivers, and they got a good rush along with it.
I think it's holding against the Rams. Yep, that's what it is.
Double coverage, you probably can't see it. Doubling both of the outside receivers. And 58, that's that 4th man. Williams coming in. Dogging with an extra man to get the rush.
So the Falcons have stiffened. They have thwarted Ferragamo yet again. And on a 4th and 16 from the Ram 36-yard line, little Reggie Smith, 3rd in the NFC in punt returns, 5'3" 3/4 inches. He's standing back on the 22-yard line for Atlanta. How in the world can you play this game at 5'3"?
Well, he's built like a 200-pounder, Ben, and he handles the punts very well.
Frank Corral will arrow one his way now, and Reggie will take it backing up at the 20, and he is eaten up. And the man to hit him right away was Ivory Sully.
Good coverage by Ivory Sully, and a good hang time. He had no chance. In fact, That's very dangerous. Many times you'll force a fumble when a guy tries to catch the ball and he's hit it once.
Tough work demands a tough leather boot. Count on the Texas Steer brand from Kmart. Quality smooth grain leather uppers, soft padded collar and ankle knots for added flex and comfort. Inside, you've got full insulation, Goodyear welt construction, steel shank, and durable oil-resistant soles. And that Kmart sale price of $25 through Saturday is hard to beat. Texas Steer. A little bit of loot buys a lot of boot. At Kmart.
If you had driven along this street just a few years ago, the cars would have been very different. But now, more and more people are driving cars like the Honda Accord four-door sedan, with room inside for 4 adults and their possessions. It's a true sedan in every sense. In fact, the Accord four-door is one of the most successful front-wheel drive sedans in America. Simple proof that society has outgrown the big sedan.
Honda, we make it simple.
See the battle of the NFL cheerleaders, the Pats Moscone Pool Challenge, and the...
1st and 10 on the Atlanta 21-yard line. We asked Steve Bartkowski, how come the maturing process this year? Here was his answer.
Well, I think the biggest thing in my life has been the day that I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I think it squared away my life. It put my priorities in line, and I just, again, realized how important football was for me, and I've gone about it differently.
Well, he goes the same way after Alfred Jenkins all the way to the 30-yard line. Jenkins got his fingertips on the ball but couldn't hold it. And by the way, while we're looking at him, he has a string now of catching at least one pass in 64 consecutive games. He almost connected on that one.
You know, on that, then they lined up with just one back in the backfield, went for the bomb. Good call. Actually, I thought he should have caught the ball. He had his man beaten, and the ball was well thrown.
So it is 2nd and 10 on the Atlanta 21. We have plenty of time, 13 minutes and 10 seconds left to the half. 6-0 in favor of Atlanta, and Junior Miller shakes himself loose to the left side. On a draw to Andrews, fighting for room, and he couldn't find it. Tied up right on the line of scrimmage was center Van Note, and when Van Note couldn't move, neither could Andrews.
I think Van Note is one of the better centers in all of football. He's the leader of this offensive football team. Now, that was a good call. Even though he only made a yard, it was still a good call because it cuts down the pass rush. Now he's 3rd and 9. He has to throw.
So there's Bartkowski's numbers. 1 interception. Ferragamo has thrown a couple. So 3rd and 9 on the 22. And he will slot right. Jackson and Berner is on the left side. But Bartkowski going right to Francis. He got away from Pat Thomas. Falls forward to the 35-yard line, and they pick up the 1st down.
And then he threw that ball right into a crowd. Only the strength and the power of his arm gets it in there. He threw that ball like a catcher to second base. Here it is. He has the protection. The Rams haven't been able to rush him much. Now watch. Right in there.
You know, the last time these two teams met, Wally Francis caught 10 passes for 108 yards. He captured game honors in both categories. It was the most passes he had ever caught in a game in his career. And now he's trying to burn the Rams again. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 32. And they go slot right. Pitch back to Andrews, trying to get outside. Brzezinski turns it in. A flag on the play as he gets to the 37. Bob Brzezinski turning the play in. And now let's see the interpretation of the flag. Face mask.
Well, the Falcons are fired up. There's no question about that. They've controlled this game.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. Number 79, defense. 1st down.
Mike Fanning, who is guilty of the infraction. We can take another look at the play. Here comes Andrews, pursued by Reynolds, who's stringing it out. Brzezinski turns the play in, and somewhere in there, the face mask.
Well, Mike tackled him high. When you tackle high, inadvertently you grab the face mask.
First and 10 on the Atlanta 42-yard line with the Falcons leading 6-0. In motion is the tight end, Junior Miller. Bartkowski releasing out of Andrews. They set up a screen, and there goes Andrews. He'll pick up the first down before going out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. The screen does it again.
Yeah, great call. Teams don't run enough screens and draws. They're so difficult at defense. I had a rule that you had to run 5 screens and 5 draws a game. Now, they use this screen. They window dress it with motion. He looks off, dumps it to 31, Andrews. Good blocking.
So they picked up 15 yards on the screen. They have it first and 10 on the Ram 43-yard line. Atlanta leading Los Angeles 6-0. Remember, the Rams came in here with a 5-game winning streak. In motion is Wallace Francis. They'll stay on the ground, and Kane tripped over Andrews' ankles.
Well, that's the second time that happened, and Andrews threw his block a little too soon. The penetration forced Andrews back. Let's see if we can see it. Now watch Andrews' 31 block, but Brzezinski dogged, so that forced him deeper, and as a result, he tripped over Andrews' feet.
So it'll be 2nd and 13 on the Ram 45-yard line. Lynn Kane. Boy, what a courageous story. 3 knee operations. Youngster went to Roosevelt High School and East L.A. Junior College. Big man on the campus at SC and now a mainstay of the Atlanta Falcons. 2nd and 12 on the 45. Looking at Kane, and he releases to Kane, and he's to the 45, to the 40, to the 39-yard line before they bring him down.
Now, he didn't want to go to the back on that. He wanted to go downfield. The coverage took away the downfield pass, and he dumps it off. And watch the good running by Andrews. See, Andrews has some power, picks up valuable yardage in this area of the field. Here it is.
Andrews has caught 25 passes going into this game. As we mentioned, he's a favorite receiver coming out of the backfield. He just did get by Jim Youngblood, and finally Pat Thomas brought him down. So 3rd and 6 on the Ram 39-yard line. Francis and Jenkins go left. And Bartkowski high down the left side. A great reception by Jenkins, but no good. He had run out of real estate.
Yeah.
Made a great catch, but he was out of bounds.
Yeah. Right, great catch and a great throw by Bartkowski. However, if we see it again, here it is. He lobs the ball, and the pass takes him out of bounds.
So on a 4th and 6, John James will be punting, and deep for the Rams, Johnson and Irvin. Johnson, number 20, Leroy Irvin, 47. The numbers for John James, of course, not kicking for distance, trying to pooch the ball out of bounds. And he'll kick it over Johnson's head, a fair catch. It hits and then takes a Falcon bounce, and then the ball is hit by a Falcon and knocked into the end zone. That's a bad break for Atlanta. They'll bring it out to the 20. James Mayberry and Tom Pridemore were hustling down there, and they succeeded in doing what John James wouldn't do. They knocked it into the end zone.
A great kick, which should have been down inside the 5-yard line.
5-yard line. Peacock and Bryant. Drew Hill is the wide receiver on the right side. Willie Miller goes left, and they'll give the ball to Cullen Bryant. And Bryant barrels across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. At the bottom of that was Curry, Buddy Curry.
Well, I like this first down call. I think it's a pitch to the fullback, 32 Bryant. Pretty good blocking, picking up 5 yards. I think that's what he has to do, run the football, settle down, establish the running game, and then throw.
2nd and 5 on the 25-yard line for Ferragamo. And you can see 10-7 in favor of the Steelers in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Peacock trying to twist and turn and get out across the 30. He had to get to the 30 for the first down, and it would appear as if he succeeded.
Well, we talked way back the Detroit Ram game. Nobody in football has a better offensive line than the Rams. They're well coached, they're well drilled. And as long as you can run that football, you're going to be able to pass.
You might be interested to know there's only one other team that runs the ball a little more than the Rams, and that's the New England Patriots. The Rams carry the ball about 39 times a game, and the Patriots 40 in this day and age of the pass. First and 10 from the 35. Ferragamo under some heat, and down he goes. Jeff Merrow, number 75, made the tackle. He had been harassed by Jeff Yates.
And you know, you can't blame Ferragamo, but when you live by the pass and have a lot of success, even though you're running the ball well, this is a waggle pass. Nobody open. He had to pump the ball. Jeff Merrow made the play. When you live by the pass, even though your running game's going well, there's a tendency to get off of the running game and try to get on that board in a hurry.
So from the 20-yard line, Ferragamo starts all over again now. Second and 20. And he'll set up a screen to Peacock, who will try to reverse the screen, and it's read, and down he goes. And the man who hit him was Al Richardson, who read the screen perfectly. And remember, Richardson is the man who had intercepted the pass earlier.
On 3rd down and 12, 3rd and long, I used to like to see this. Have them dump it off to a back, whether it's a screen or what it is. You aren't going to... And 50, Buddy Curry made the play. What a second-round pick that kid was. He's really playing football.
So it is 3rd and 22 on the 19. Ferragamo, remember, started on the 20, got it out to the 35, only to be pushed backward. Deep down the middle, and he's got Willie Miller, who takes quite a lick from Pridemore, but held onto the ball. A great reception by Willie Miller.
And a great throw by Ferragamo.
And they pick up the first
rush,
down.
Ben. 3-man rush. Watch. I don't believe you can rush with 3 men. You've got to have that 4th and 5th man. Willie Miller was right in the middle, right where a center fielder would play. Here it is. There's the 3-man rush. They're running a stunt, but there's 6 against 3. He still doesn't have to throw the ball.
Back to live now. 1st and 10 on the Ram 43-yard line. Looking at Bryant, setting up a screen for Bryant, and the big man is upended just about at the 45-yard line. They might have picked up 2 yards on the play.
Well, they got out of the hole with that 3rd and 22. It isn't often you can get a first down on 3rd and 22. Here's first downs. Atlanta 8, Rams 4. Atlanta then has dominated this game, but they're only ahead 7-0.
6-0.
6-0. Missed the extra point.
We have 5 minutes and 33 seconds left to go to the half. 2nd and 8 on the 45. Peacock is in a slot left inside Willie Miller, so Bryant's all alone, and Waddy goes wide right. And he'll go to Waddy, who drops it. Waddy had it all alone, and he would have had the first down at the 45-yard line, but he didn't hold it.
Well, that was a good call by Ferragamo. It was a curl, a stop-type pattern. Difficult to defense. That type of pattern, it's easy to throw.
Willie Waddy coming off a facial injury against the St. Louis Cardinals. He suffered broken teeth in that game, so he's a little bit rusty. 3rd and 8 on the 45. Falcon crowd now exhorting Atlanta to stiffen. Glazebrook is going to pick up Miller. They put a slot right formation. And all alone is Miller, and he fumbles, I believe, after the catch. And let's see, are they going to rule it a fumble and recovery, or will they rule it no catch?
At first, he ruled it incomplete. Here it is, from the end zone. Pretty good protection. He has the ball. It's jarred loose. And it looks like he pulls it in himself. At first, the official ruled incomplete, then he ruled it complete.
So Willie Miller makes a big recovery of his own fumble, and it's a 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 42. The Rams trying to catch and pass Atlanta on this drive that started on their own 20. Ferragamo getting heat, and down he goes. Jeff Merrow was there to bring him down, and Merrow is beating somebody badly on that side. He's in there a lot.
That's usually the left tackle's man, Doug France's man. Let's see if we can see it. They're running a stunt. Jeff Merrow came around and beat Doug France to the outside. This is the most I've seen Ferragamo rush this year. He's been under pressure most every pass.
Ferragamo is 7 for 12 for 65 yards, but he has thrown 2 interceptions. So it is 2nd and 18 from midfield. And you can see the Bills leading the Patriots 7-3 in the second quarter. There goes Big Bryant, grabbed by Pridemore as he got across the 40. So Cullen Bryant.
Well, this is a fine drive that Ferragamo has engineered. He's done it primarily running the football, but yet he picked up that 3rd and long down the middle. The Rams are playing now a little bit more like we've seen them play in the past. They're mixing a running game and a passing game very well.
So it is 3rd and 6 on the 38-yard of Atlanta. Ferragamo stringing Drew Hill wide left, Willie Miller in a slot right inside Waddy. And you have Bryan and Peacock. Ferragamo a little quick release, and Peacock takes a hit at the 35-yard line.
Oh.
And the hitter is shaken up on the play.
Was he hit? Whoever that is, he's down. 58.
That's Joel Williams. So Williams hit him hard and was stunned for the moment.
Let's watch the blocking by France, 77, and then the play. Doug is staying with him. Now he dumps it off. And this tackle, a head-on tackle, stopped the first down. Now the Rams are gambling, then they're going for it. 4th and 3.
4th and 3 on the 35-yard line. In motion is Billy Waddy. Ferragamo fakes once and releases to Waddy. The Falcons box him in across the 30, and he picks up the first down.
He went underneath to pick up the first down, which is a good call. Get the first down. Throw the type of pass that will give you 3 to 4 yards. And Waddy came underneath. And when you come underneath on the Falcons, you're working on those young linebackers, which is good football. Work on the inexperienced players.
With 2 minutes remaining in the quarter, there's a timeout and the score. Atlanta 6 and Los Angeles nothing. 50 for 3rd down plays this year, which is remarkable.
Fantastic. And I always felt that we wouldn't allow 3rd and long any more than 9% of the time. 9-10% of the time.
Broncos leading the Giants 7-3, as you see. Meanwhile, it's 6-0 here. The Rams defensively on the sideline, hollering encouragement, Bill Bain and Reggie Dodd. 1st and 10 on the 29 of Atlanta. 6-0 Falcons. Willie Miller in motion. And Ferragamo hard and low and in a crowd. It looks like Willie Miller made the reception at the 20-yard line.
Well, Ferragamo, Vince is doing what he does well now. He's throwing the ball. He has the protection. Here's Hill, 87, going down, putting on a move. He's jammed. He knocks the defender down, and he's knocked down.
Roland Lawrence went down along with Drew Hill. So it's 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 18-yard line. Miller is left and Drew Hill right. A quick handoff to Peacock, and he is stacked up as he crossed the 15, and people go flying as a handkerchief goes down for sure. Flag on the play.
Well, here's Pat Hayden's first game on the sidelines. Usually the quarterback on the sidelines likes to help the quarterback on the field once in a while.
There's one team that plays for keeps.
With 1 minute and 8 seconds left to the half, the Rams driving, maintaining possession of the ball now for over 7.5 minutes. And they have moved it to a 2nd and 5 on the Atlanta 13. A reminder at halftime, of course, we'll go back to New York with Brent along with Phyllis and Irv. And Phyllis George will have an interesting interview with the man who had to fill Johnny Unitas' shoes, Bert Jones in Baltimore. 2nd and 5 from the 13. Drew Hill on a wing right, and they give it to Bryant. And big Cullen Bryant is to the 5-yard line before the Falcons can bring him down. And that would be enough for the first down to make it 1st and goal.
And the Rams just took another timeout, so they have 1 left. This is a good call. Lead play, give it to your big, strong fullback, drive through. Two hands on the ball. Don't fumble in there.
Chester, a lady in my condition would like an automatic.
A bank. The Los Angeles Rams came into this game leading the NFC in scoring, averaging 29 points a game. In fact, only the Chargers scored more points, yet they had been shut out until 1 minute left in the first half. And they have it 1st and goal on the 5. In motion is Willie Miller. Ferragamo rolling and looking now. He looks the other way as he gestures and throws it OB just to keep things quiet.
He did a smart thing there, Ben. He rolled out. You show the run. You try to force the run first, show run, and pass second. Nobody was open. He threw the ball out of the end zone, stopped the clock. No chance for an interception.
55 seconds left to the half, and you can see Ferragamo's numbers. Of course, those 2 interceptions really hurt him. One to Al Richardson, which eventually led to a touchdown, and Roland Lawrence. So on a 2nd and goal from the 5, Ferragamo looked for Miller, throwing to Miller, overthrew him. When Miller broke, he took a pretty good bump from Kenny Johnson, and that upset the play.
That's exactly right, man. He threw the ball. Without the bump, it would have been a perfect throw, but the jam by the defender made the pass go behind him. Now, the Rams still have 1 timeout left. Ferragamo usually likes Hicks down in here, a crossing pattern off of play action.
Frank Corral on the sidelines, but they want him to kick an extra point, not a field goal. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Drew Hill is wide right. Denard is wide left. Hicks is on the right side, the tight end. Ferragamo finally throwing it up, and it is no good. It was almost up for grabs.
Yes, it was. Falcons did a good job of coverage in here. He wanted Hicks on a delay pattern. I don't know whether we can see it. 81 comes out, and it comes underneath. He wants him, but there's Hicks being jammed there. So here, now watch Hicks. Here's the guy he wants. Hicks is jammed and knocked off, and that forced him to throw deep where he did not want to throw.
Nolan Cromwell will hold, even though he really has only one hand, a left hand, to hold it. You can see that right hand is heavily bandaged. The spot at the 13, and the kick is up and good. So a 23-yard field goal by Frank Corral, and the Rams finally get on the scoreboard, and it comes as somewhat of a shock to see a high-powered offensive team stymied as badly as the Rams have been so far today. Atlanta, remember, held really on a 1st and goal on the 5.
Yes, they did a heck of a job down there. When you hold them to 3 points, a high-powered offense like the Rams, you're doing your job. You can't expect much better than that.
For Frank Corral, he has kicked 8 out of 10 field goals now, his longest 47. And as you can see, we have 39 seconds left in the half. It is the Falcons 6, the Rams 3.
He has not been involved in any of the victories.
Look at the time on that drive, 8:51, as Frank Corral is ready to kick off, and the crowd is on its feet. They are giving the Falcons a standing ovation for their excellent play in the first half. Meanwhile, Vince Ferragamo has to be terribly frustrated on the sidelines. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Corral kicking high and short. And it will be Anthony Anderson and Reggie Smith bumping together, and Reggie Smith swallowed up by Ivory Sully, and the little guy is hot. He's angry at Anthony Anderson because Anderson went back and bumped into him, and Reggie never did get a return.
No excuse for that. One man has to make the call. I got it, and the other guy says, you take it. That's a lack of communication there.
So the little man with a big anger slamming that ball down, and Atlanta will put it in play from their own 17-yard line, and we would expect him just to eat up the 38 seconds.
I think he might go deep here. Throw a bomb. Yes, doesn't have much to lose. Might get a big play out of it.
1st and 10 on the Atlanta 17-yard line. And they will stay on the ground to Andrews, and he gets across the 20 out to about the 23.
Almost lost the ball then.
Juggled it. He has to get to the 27 for a first down. And the clock is running down to 25 seconds.
You know, with our present pass defense rules, it's good football to go deep. There's not much to lose. Even if the ball is intercepted, it's down the field 50 yards. It's as good as a punt.
And you always have the thought of interference where you get a big completion.
They let the clock run out.
Yep. Well, back here in the Georgia sunshine, we're about ready for the start of the second half. But the Falcons kicking deep. Drew Hill is the deep man for the Rams. He has Gooman standing up on the 20 along with Ivory Sully. And Tim Mazzetti will be kicking off for Atlanta. The Falcons leading the Rams 6-3 at halftime. And the kick to Drew Hill, who went to school here at Georgia Tech. And he'll start on the 2, to the 15, to the 20, 25, and finally upended by Ray Strong. And Atlanta almost made a mistake and let him get outside.
Exactly, and that's how he's made some of his long returns. He starts up the middle, and the contained man knifes down, then he breaks it outside.
There are the numbers at halftime, and as you pointed out, George, a shock of 98 yards, total yardage for one of the high-powered offensive teams in the NFL.
And the big thing is the 3 sacks and the two interceptions on Ferragamo.
1st and 10 on the Ram 30-yard line. Peacock and Bryant behind Ferragamo with Waddy going right, and here comes Elvis Peacock cutting back and settling at the 35-yard line. He was hit at the ankle by Laughlin, number 51.
We watched Tyler in the warm-up, and number 26. He's certainly not ready to play football for maybe a couple of weeks. And this is Peacock's first game after a groin injury.
So it is 2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line. So far, Ferragamo is 10 for 18, but no touchdown. Bryant has carried 4 for 26. Peacock 10 carries for 30 yards. And it'll be the second man, Peacock, upended by Glazebrook. So Glazebrook submarined him at the line of scrimmage, and he fell forward for a yard or 2.
Well, this Falcon defense is playing better than they anticipated. Their young linebackers are really physical. They're all over the field. The big thing that the Rams have been able to do is when they want to throw, they've had time to throw. Now let's see what happens here. It's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3.
So from the 37-yard line, and here's Cullen Bryant trying to run laterally, and they down him, so he didn't make his play.
Well, that shows their halftime strategy. 3rd and 3 is a passing situation, and they run the ball, a trap play with Dennis Hara pulling, tackle made by number 50, Curry.
So once again, the crowd inching forward as they see little Reggie Smith going deep, standing on the Atlanta 20-yard line, and Frank Corral doing the punting from the Ram 25. The last time the Rams had the ball, remember, they kept it for 8 minutes and 51 seconds before Corral kicked the field goal, but they have to give it up now after a couple of downs. Short kick, hitting short of the 30, and Reggie is across the 30 again, bumping this time into Rich Bias, a teammate, and the little guy goes down. So he is hot to trot, but he's been bumping into his own teammates and unable to move. So at just the start of this 3rd quarter, there's timeout, and the score is 6-3 Atlanta.
there's a fuel-efficient car that does more than get you from point A to point B. Introducing the Cougar 4-door from Lincoln Mercury. 4 doors is one thing, but a Cougar is another.
Outside, the Canon NP200 may look like any small copier, but inside there's a world of difference, a world of micronics, where 20 copies a minute are not only possible, but made reliable with a microcomputer. Fiber optics precisely defines your image, and a toner projection system gives you clear copies on virtually any paper. Up to 11 by 17. Compact in size and price, the Canon NP200 is definitely worth looking into.
On the CBS Wednesday night movies, the Jane Mansfield story. She was a sex symbol of the 50s, but her dream life would go sour. Lonnie Anderson stars Wednesday.
So the Falcons will put it in play, 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. And Steve Bartkowski bringing them up with Jenkins going left. Francis goes wide right. He's picked up by Pat Thomas. They'll stay on the ground to Lynn Kane, and he is hit. Jack Reynolds got him as he crossed the 30-yard line.
Well, the Falcons came out in an I formation. I formation is running 90% of the time. The Rams shifted their defense at the last minute. It was a missed blocking assignment and no gain, 2nd and 10.
Reggie Doss is playing instead of Freddie Dreyer, who was shaken up in the first quarter. There's Reggie. Dreyer has a sprained ankle, and we're just not sure whether he's able to come back in at all today. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Francis is left. Jenkins is right. In motion is Lynn Kane to the right. Bartkowski over the middle, juggled and dropped by the tight end, Junior Miller, and all over him was Nolan Cromwell.
You know, Ben, speaking of Junior Miller, his real name is Selvia, S-E-L-V-I-A. No wonder they call him Junior.
He's quite a player, too. They're a rookie out of Nebraska, a first-round draft choice. And down here, they say he's the best tight end since Riley Owens and Russ Francis. So keep an eye on him, Junior Miller.
Well, he has the speed to go deep. Usually you don't get that type of speed at a tight end. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
3rd and 10 from the 31. And Bartkowski's mired a bit from the first 2 plays. Francis in the slot left inside Jenkins. Bartkowski under heat from Jack Youngblood has time and then throws it away. He wasn't sure what Andrews was going to do, and Andrews was guarded by Bob Brzezinski.
Nobody open. Nobody open. He has some pressure, and I'll watch him step up, which is something he didn't used to do, to get away from the rush. And he actually grounds the ball. Saves taking a sack.
The deep man is Leroy Irvin. And John James punting from the Atlanta 20-yard line. We'll see if the Rams try to put on a block. A good snap. And James gets it away very high. And Irvin calling fair catch standing at the 25. And that's where he'll drop to one knee.
Again, a hang time of 5 flat. When you see those fair catches, it's usually because the punter has kicked the ball so high that the returner has to signal for a fair catch.
We do the Continental to ensure our apartmental.
I do the Continental to ensure my accidental.
I do the Continental to ensure my Orientals.
They can insure all I have to insure. I do the Continental to ensure my instrumental.
I do the Continental to ensure my equipmental.
Join the over 4 million satisfied Continental insurance policyholders.
Do the Continental.
If anyone looks forward to the start of a new day, it's a Big A Auto Parts store, because each new day is filled with such challenging customer requests for quality parts and friendly service. Take yesterday, for example.
The battery.
Got an oil filter for a Ferrari?
Do you hook the black one to the plus or minus?
I need heavy-duty shocks.
A muffler for a Merc.
Boy, have you got metric tools.
Quality parts, friendly service. That's Big A.
Have you got a cup of coffee?
Sure.
The hard-working auto parts store.
With 11:42 left to go in the third quarter. It is 6-3 Atlanta. Further report on Freddie Dryer. They took x-rays of the ankle. The x-rays proved negative. However, he will not play anymore today. So that puts a lot of pressure on Reggie Dawes. 1st and 10 on the Ram 25. And the Rams this year have scored more than half their points in the first 2 quarters. And they had only 3 points today. Ferragamo high and right out of the hands of standing all alone Joel Williams after it got by Elvis Peacock. Joel had 2 big interceptions last week against New Orleans, and he had one right there today.
He did. Last week he turned the game around against the Saints. Now Ferragamo throws this ball too hard at close range and again high. Very fortunate that wasn't intercepted, and if it had been intercepted, 6 points.
The name is Joel, but he doesn't pronounce it Joel, as you might imagine. It's Joel. So 2nd and 10. A good close-up of Ferragamo with the wheel on the Ram 26. Then setting up to go high and deep down the middle for Drew Hill. And the little guy out of Georgia Tech goes for a touchdown.
Ferragamo, we talked at the top of the show about Ferragamo going deep. In fact, just before this series, we talked about play action to 87. Drew Hill, watch this. Perfect throw. Fine catch. Not breaking the stride. No defense for that unless you rush the quarterback. And that's the way Ferragamo has been playing football. Deep passes, big plays. That's how you get back in a hurry.
For Drew Hill, his 2nd touchdown and his longest of the year. Previously, he had caught one for 60 yards. So Drew, who is averaging better than 21 a catch, goes all the way. And the point after by Corral is good. And so the Rams have suddenly awakened from a first-half slumber as we take another look at Drew Hill.
Drew Hill doesn't put any move on. He just runs at top speed all the way. The ball is right in stride.
Pridemore and Lawrence couldn't get him.
You're about to see Ford pickups make 6-cylinder EPA fuel economy history. For 1981, Ford breaks this mileage barrier with the best estimated MPG ever achieved by a 6-cylinder pickup. And here's another breakthrough. The first and only automatic overdrive option in any 8-cylinder truck. When your speed reaches about 40, it automatically shifts into overdrive and your engine runs slower. Only Ford has V8 automatic overdrive. For 1981, Ford pickups make one breakthrough after another. They're built Ford tough.
I give up my whole Sunday to help a buddy paint his boat. And he gives me a light beer. You ever taste light beer?
Try a Coors Light.
It's a surprising taste of Coors Light.
Not bad.
Comes from pure Rocky Mountain spring water and high country barley.
It's good. It's really good.
And a way of brewing that squeezes a lot of the calories out but leaves all the taste in.
Well, I'm surprised.
Coors Light, the surprise is how good it tastes.
Acapulco Cliff Divers, next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
So on a 2nd and 10 from the Ram 26, a 74-yard scoring pass from Vince Ferragamo to Drew Hill. Hill's 2nd, and for Ferragamo, his 14th of the year. And that makes it 10-6 in favor of the Rams. Reggie Smith is waiting deep for the kickoff. He will take it on the 3. And the little guy is to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, spins and down just shy of the 40. And the little man finally picked up some real estate.
He looked good. He's always on balance. He has such short steps. Watch him. Watch his footwork. Reggie Smith, number 16. Now watch his footwork. Real short steps. He's always on balance. When a runner has that type of balance, he can make quick starts and turns. Now, after that home run, the Falcon offense has good field position.
1st and 10 on the Atlanta 38, and Bartkowski looked to leave it off to Andrews, then goes deep, and it's intercepted by Nolan Cromwell. At the 35, he is upended and dropped at the 36-yard line. Junior Miller, the tight end, went down to finally tackle him, and Bartkowski has given it up again.
Yes, he has, Ben. He didn't want to go downfield. He wants to throw. the screen. We just see the completion of the play. He just put the ball up really for grabs. It was overthrown. Nolan Cromwell was right. Now, see here, he wants to throw the ball in the flat. Looked like a quick screen. The screen is covered. Now he has an afterthought, throws it deep, overthrown. Bad play.
So 1st and 10 on the Ram 37-yard line. And the Rams, fresh from a touchdown, get the ball again. So Ferragamo decides to go deep down the middle, and it is just out of the hands of Victor Hicks. He threw to the tight end in double coverage, and Hicks couldn't hold on to it.
Well, Ferragamo had a lot of time to throw there. 58 is Williams. Watch, if we see this again, watch the protection. A 3-man rush. Now a delayed rush, but too late by 36. Ball was overthrown.
Well, you can see how important this game is, particularly for Atlanta. If they could win it, they would then be tied with the Rams, and Joel Williams trotting off the field, evidently okay.
You know, then what we'll find is the character of the Falcons. They've been hit by a bomb. It's tough to come back now. When you've outplayed the opposition, all at once someone hits a home run against it.
First the bomb and then the interception. That's a left hook and a right cross. And we'll see now what the Rams do. 2nd and 10 from their own 37. Bryant and Peacock behind Ferragamo. Drew Hill is wide right, but they go to Bryant, and he's stacked up and falls forward. Mike Ken hit him and dropped him.
Ferragamo's going to be going back deep, going to the passing game, what he does well. They haven't had much success running the ball today.
You know, one thing that the Rams have done, and we should point it out defensively, you know, Lynn Kane came in here with over 450 yards in 7 games. Kane carried 5 times for a -4 yards. They have completely shut him down. 3rd and 8 for the Rams on the Ram 39. Ferragamo with a lot of time throws it right through the hands of Roland Lawrence, intended for Drew Hill.
Again, that ball was thrown high. Very fortunate. Roland Lawrence had it right in his hands. 4-man rush by the Falcons. Nickel defense. 5 defensive backs.
So little Reggie goes back.
This game, Ben, is now becoming pass offense, pass defense. Neither team's running the football.
Frank Corral will be punting from his own 25-yard line, and standing deep is Reggie Smith on the Atlanta 20. 4th and 8 on the 39. Carl Eckern is back there to pick up strays and block for Frank Corral. And Corral gets it away, and this will hit short of the 30, start to bounce back, and it will go out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
Well, another break for the Falcons.
So with 10:02 left to go in the 3rd quarter, the score, 3rd. We can also duck in the fact that the Green Bay Packers on a 37-yard field goal by Tom Burney in the 3rd quarter, leading the Vikings 3-0. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 34. Bartkowski trying to get a drive started on a quick handoff to William Andrews. He's out across the 35 to the 37. They pick up a couple. Bartkowski's numbers today: 8 for 16, 79 yards, but he has thrown 2 interceptions. He has thrown 1 touchdown, a 7-yard pass to Alfred Jackson.
We also have an interesting thing here with Doug Smith out. Dennis Hare is snapping and playing. You don't like your center to also be playing every down.
2nd and 8 on the 36-yard line for Atlanta. Kane, the deep man out of the eye, and they'll try his number this time. Pursued by Jack Youngblood and wrestled out of bounds by Johnny Johnson.
Well, the Falcons haven't done anything this second half on offense. Rams defense has taken over.
Lynn Kane will come out. Alfred Jackson coming in, so they get somebody who can go deep on a 3rd and 7 from the 37. Ray Malavasi with a 5-game winning streak, trying to roll it to 6. Jackson is wide left. So Andrews, the only remaining back. And Bartkowski over the middle, and he's got Francis to the 45, to the 40, and Rod Perry slings him out of bounds. First down inside the Ram 40. They'll spot it at about the 37.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got Francis one-on-one on Cromwell. Cromwell's licking at his heels, misses the tackle. Big first down. You only throw the ball about 5 yards, but you get the yardage out of the run after the catch.
They wind up picking up 26 yards on a 3rd and 7 from the Atlanta 37. This completion to Francis going to the Ram 37. So Atlanta now trying to make a move. They trail 10-6, and they shake Junior Miller loose wide left as they go slot right. And they'll try Andrews, but the Rams stack him right there at the 35-yard line.
Again, Vin, I know I'm repeating myself, but the Rams defense has been so effective stopping the run. It's a question of how much do you run when you're behind. And again, with the present pass rules, it almost forces you to put the ball up more than you want to.
We should also mention on that rare 3rd and 7 completion, the Ram defense has held the opposition to only 26% of the 3rd down conversions. That's the lowest in the NFL. So you better not be 3rd and long against the Rams. 2nd and 8 on the 35, so this becomes a very big play for Bartkowski. And he'll put it up. Looking and throwing, no good. And there wasn't anybody near it. Lynn Kane was bumped by Jack Reynolds.
Yeah, that's it. Jack Reynolds jammed Lynn Kane. And that's what made the pass look like it was badly thrown. It was the jam, the use of the hands by Reynolds within the 5-yard limit, which is perfectly legal. Chuck.
So on a moment ago, the Rams were able to give up a 3rd down conversion when Bartkowski hit on a 3rd and 7. It seems very rare that a team could come back and hit him again on a 3rd down conversion and long. It's 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 from the 35, and they go slot left. Jack Youngblood trying to get him, and he's gotten him.
Well, they dogged him, Vin. They went after him with 6 men. They couldn't pick it up. Took him out of field goal range, which is even more important. Here it is. Here comes 59. Brzezinski. Youngblood. 6-man rush. More rushers than blockers. Can't pick it up. Took him out of field goal range. Big play by the defense.
Now for the Rams going deep, Johnny Johnson, number 20, Leroy Urban, number 47. John James standing on his own 40 to get the punt away at the 45. And he hits it high. Fair catch by Johnson standing on the 15. And he takes a step forward to about the 16 or 17, and that's where the Rams will put it in play. So it was a big 1st and 10 on the Ram 37, but the Rams stiffen and take over, and they lead 10-6. Safety Tom Pridemore told us before the ball game what the Falcon defense would try to do against Ferragamo. You ought to get in on it too.
Well, we know that he's going to be putting the ball up, and the statistic is that 1 time out of 5 that he throws the ball, they're putting points on the board. So we know he likes to throw the ball deep, which I think is a big change from what Pat Hayden used to do. You know, rather than pick at you, he likes to go for the long ball and put points on the board quickly. So that's what we're going to expect, and this is a big game for us. We could be tied for the divisional lead, so you know, as a whole, as a team defensively as a whole, you know, we're real fired up about it, and that's what we're going to approach the game.
Cullen Bryant unable to go anyway, but there's a flag on the play as they drop him at the 15-yard line. It's a little ironic that Pridemore should be talking about the fact we know he wants to go deep, because when they were burned on that 74-yard pass to Drew Hill, it was Pridemore and Lawrence who were frustrated by the bomb. The penalty against the Rams on that run by Cullen Bryant. Lehman Bennett, UPI Coach of the Year 2 years ago, spent 4 years as the Rams receiver coach, and Lehman trying to knock off Los Angeles.
This is a good time, a good area of the field to go play action and go deep. Again, it's fairly...
Holding, number 78, offense,
First down.
Number 78, Jackie Slater, holding. To go deep, get a big play, coming out of the hole.
So the ball is moved back to the 9-yard line. It's 1st and 20 from the 9 for Ferragamo. Peacock and Bryant going all the way behind Ferragamo, who rolls and looks down the right side. Under some pressure, decides to keep it and wisely goes out of bounds. And Curry said, I didn't lay a glove on him. Curry held his hands up after getting a pretty good shoulder in on Ferragamo.
And Vince is complaining about that. He was hit just as he went out of bounds. Here it is. It's a waggle type of pass. The backs go one way, the quarterback goes the other. He wants to throw. It's not a run. Now, right here, he starts to run. And Curry hits him right on the sideline. It was a clean play.
So it is 2nd and 15. They move the ball out to the 11. And the Bills leading the Patriots 14-10. The Rams leading the Falcons 10-6 with 7:37 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Cullen Bryant going the other way, boxed in and stumbles and goes down after he crossed the 20. Johnson and Pridemore hit him despite a fairly good block by Kent Hill.
You know, Then there's a guy that you very seldom is ever hit for a loss. He's always making yardage. He can run outside. He can run inside. He's got the power.
You know what's great about Bryant, too? He fumbled last week, and that was almost a headline because he has fumbled 9 times in 8 years. That means touching the ball over 800 times, and he's only let loose of it 9 times.
That's fantastic. And he's a good receiver. He's a good blocker. Here's a big down for both sides right here.
It's a 3rd down play on the 21-yard line. Ferragamo, remember, was back on his 9 before that last play that moved it out. Vince unloading, and he's got Drew Hill, and the Falcons bring him down at the 25, and that's not enough for a first down. They had to get out to the 28.
The difference there was they came in with a little better rush. They came in with a 4-man rush. See if we can see it. Ran a stunt, put a little pressure on him. There's Smith, 65. It's an underneath pattern designed to make the first down after the catch. You run with the ball to get the yardage.
Well, once again, little Reggie Smith standing on the Atlanta 30-yard line. Frank Corral ready to kick to him from the Ram 15. 6:09 left in the 3rd quarter. 10-6 in favor of the Rams. Falcons can't get in. It's a low line drive end over end to Reggie Smith at the 38. He got by Smith. He's to the 45, spins. There's a flag as he fumbles, picked up by Gerald Thomas, who will be down at the 45. But there was a flag on the play, so hold everything.
And the flag is way downfield.
A line drive to Reggie Smith, who fumbles, recovered by Gerald Thomas, and now we'll wait and see. And it will be against the Rams, a legal man downfield.
Well, that's one penalty I hate to see called. That a legal man downfield on a punt. It's so difficult to coach your people not to be downfield. And what is downfield? Is it 2 yards? Is it 3 yards? Each group of officials interpret that differently. And I hate to see kicking over on a downfield penalty like that.
Ray Malavasi is steaming right now as back judge Tom Kelleher goes over to talk to him.
Ineligible receiver downfield on a kick. Number 37, offense, 4th down.
You know, Ben, Dennis Hara on that last snap tipped it off. He really wound up. And one of the reasons Frank kicked a line drive is that they got the jump on the snap.
Which brings up the point you mentioned earlier, the fact that they have their center playing all the time now, Dennis Hara, because Doug Smith is hurt, and that could hurt the Rams in the long way.
Let's watch this next snap.
So now Corral will be kicking from the 10, and Reggie Smith is standing on the Atlanta 41. And watch the snap from Dennis Hara. A lot of heat on him. Eckern is again back there to pick up strays. Lucius Smith is also back to block. And now Bias and Dakin peel off, so they're not coming. And the kick is another low one, and Reggie will make the reception at the 50. And the little guy got away from Gooman. He's all across to the 40. Chased by Ivory Sully. Flag on the play. He goes for the 30, and they're going wild in Georgia. And the flag evidently is against the Rams. A clip on the punt. That's what it looks like, the preliminary signal. Although he pointed towards Atlanta, I would think the clip has to be against the Falcons.
No, it's a clip against the Falcons.
Right.
That's too bad, because the little guy did that on his own. Let's see if we can see it again. Another line drive punt. They didn't come. They have the return on, no rush. He did the right thing. Moved into the ball. When you get a line drive, move into it, catch it moving forward. Now, let's see if we can see a clip. That might be it right there. Gosh, it didn't look like a clip.
Not much, if that was it.
That's a marginal call.
However, the Falcons have good field position. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 44-yard line. In motion is Wallace Francis. He'll join Jenkins on the left side. And they'll go up the middle and move it almost to midfield. Reggie Smith, 5 feet 3 3/4 inches. Little man with a big job. Meanwhile, William Andrews, who is the horse for the Falcons, has now carried 13 times for 54 yards.
And everything is right up the gut. Direct hitting.
2nd and 5 on the 49 for Atlanta. The Rams leading 10-6. We have 4:58 left in the 3rd quarter. And the Falcons burst loose again, just shy of the 40-yard line. Andrews once more carrying the ball.
This is a slant play. 21 Kane blocking. Again, straight ahead. Nothing fancy. Man for man blocking. Here's another angle. Reverse pivot. Give the ball to Andrews. Kane block. Youngblood, 53.
So they pick up a 1st and 10 on the Ram 41-yard line.
Vikings 3, Packers 3.
Junior Miller is in motion. A handoff to Andrews. He tries to cut back, and he cut right into the arms of Cody Jones and Jack Reynolds.
Well, the Rams defense is too good to get burned repeatedly by the same play. They're going to make an adjustment.
Steelers moving out in front, as you saw. Time left 4 minutes in this 3rd quarter. And the Buffalo Bills holding on to that 14-3. Suddenly it is now 14-13.
John Smith kicked a 32-yard field goal.
2nd and 10 for the Falcons on the Ram 41-yard line. Bartkowski stumbling, got away from Reggie Doss. Throws deep down the left side, overthrowing the intended receiver, and that's Wallace Francis. Nolan Cromwell was actually much closer to the ball.
The Rams defense did the same thing they did earlier when they took Bartkowski out of field goal range. They dogged. He showed some maturity and some agility. In the past, he would have been sacked on this. He tripped over his own guard, but he got out and just threw the ball away rather than taking a loss. Good football.
Well, so far in the 2nd half, there's been one big 3rd down conversion for Atlanta. They had a 3rd and 7, and they were able to do it.
Another field goal by Mosley, Vin, a 52-yarder. 4 field goals.
So here's 3rd and 10 on the Ram 41. Jackson is wide left. Andrews staying in to block. Bartkowski got away from Brodzinski, and down he goes. Well, Reggie Doss and Cody Jones, after Brodzinski tried to take his head off and came up empty.
Well, I tell you, he's setting up real slowly. See, he's setting up real slowly. He's showing pass all the way. Again, they dogged. Nobody picked up 59. Brodzinski, he's the one that made the sack possible. They're going to have to keep in more blockers because the Rams dogs are very effective now.
So they had a 1st and 10 on the Ram 41. Now they have it 4th and 20. And Johnny James punting with Leroy Irvin deep on the Ram 10-yard line. And James angling for the sidelines. Coming up to get it, however, is Irvin at the 15. To the 20, and he is stuck right there. And the man who hit him so hard, number 53, and that is Chuck Carril, the center, who did well to get way downfield under that.
That was a picture tackle.
So time, 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter, with the Rams leading the Falcons 10-6, and the Rams guilty of the infraction on the punt by John James. Here's Jerry Markbright.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 20 on the run back. First down.
There's illegal use of the hands against the Rams on the run back. So Ferragamo now has it 1st and 10 on the Ram 13. Remember last time he had it 1st and 10 on his 17 and went back to the 9 before they had a punt. Billy Waddy goes wide right, and Preston Denard goes wide left. Out of the eye with Peacock, the deep man, and Peacock is now in the open and dragged down as he goes across the 20-yard line. Curry was there to handle him along with Tom Pridemore.
Well, you know, that extra point then is looming bigger and bigger. You miss an extra point in the first quarter, say, well, we got a lot of time. Now, those last 2 series, they had a chance maybe to play different strategy and go for a field goal. But they need 2 field goals or a touchdown to get ahead.
2nd and 3 on the 20 for Ferragamo and the Rams. And they pitch back to Cullen Bryant. And the big man, they stopped him at about the 25-yard line, but he made his first down. So Cullen Bryant, boy, he always gets the tough call.
He does. He's the type of guy that can carry the ball 25, 30 times a ball game. He's strong, he lifts weights, he stays in good shape.
Otis Armstrong from 2 yards out has just put Denver out in front of the Giants 14-9. Giants actually led 3-0 and 9-7 in that game. So 1st and 10 on the Ram 25. Waddy and Denard, the wide receiver. And it's Peacock. Hit as he got across the 30. He was hit from the side by Glazebrook and dropped at about the 32.
You know, Ben, I like what Ferragamo's doing right now. He's got a good running game. He's using it to get field position, to set up the pass off of play action. He's making good calls right here. He's going right at him. Nothing fancy. Lining up in the I formation.
2nd and 3 on the 32. Ferragamo taking his time. Waddy now goes wide right. And they hand it to Cullen Bryant. And it looks like he made the first down as he got across the 35. He took some hellacious hits there. The last man to hit him was Kenny Johnson.
He's very seldom hit for a loss. I can only remember in the games we've done where he's been hit once behind the line of scrimmage. And that's a big plus to have a back like that that's always going forward and that doesn't fumble.
There's Lehman Bennett thinking about Cullen Bryant and the Rams, I'm sure. You know, Bryant this year has averaged 4.5 yards. That's better than his last 2 yards, where he was averaging about 3.5 yards. So the big guy's improving with age. 1st and 10 on the Ram 37. Reed, the strong safety, is up on the left side. Bryant blocks him out, but now a good lick by Joel Williams, and Ferragamo is dropped.
And he also fumbled the ball.
Yeah, but they're not ruling the fumble. They claim the hit, and the whistle was blown dead immediately.
Here it is. Here's a dog, a blitz. Again, the Rams can't pick it up. More people coming. Real good. Oh, boy, I tell you what. That could have been ruled a fumble. Here it is from another angle. Going back. And he's hit. But he loses it going down. So really his arm was not going forward when he fumbled. He lost the ball when he's going down. That's a fumble.
Well, it was a fumble to a lot of people, but not to Jerry Markbright and company, and that's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Los Angeles Rams 10, the Atlanta Falcons 6. We now pause for a word from your local station. Official interpretation is concerned, that's the end of the play, because Ferragamo was in the arms and the grasp of the tackler.
That's what he ruled right there. The play is dead right there. After that, anything that happens doesn't mean a thing. It's a judgment call by the official, usually the referee.
So 2nd and 19 on the Ram 29. It was a good call. The crowd, of course, unable to have the luxury of the instant replay to see that freeze. So Ferragamo trying to go deep, 2nd and 19, going down the right sideline to Drew Hill. No good. Glazebrook in a collision with Roland Lawrence.
You know what, Ben, that's one of the few times I've seen Ferragamo underthrow. Watch this. Going deep, going for the home run, which he does so well. Now watch this ball. That ball is underthrown. You see that?
Roland Lawrence actually got his left hand on the ball. He already had one interception earlier today, and he actually came pretty close to picking that one off. Watch number 22.
Here it is. A ball that was overthrown. Hill might have a chance to catch it.
And, of course, Drew earlier caught one for a 74-yard touchdown to give the Rams their lead of 10-6. So 3rd and 19 from the 28. Ferragamo under heat, throws it to Drew Hill at the 45, and he got away to the 40, 35 as he's dragged down behind.
Well,
Kenny Johnson.
Yeah, that shows. I don't know whether we'll see a replay. You can't cover one-on-one a guy like Drew Hill. This is a perfectly executed play. Pass and catch. Ferragamo throws the ball under heavy pressure. Drew Hill is one-on-one. Now he uses his running ability. The Falcons dogged on that to get pressure on him. That forced him to be...
And they put him one-on-one on the rookie from Mississippi State, Kenny Johnson. That's really asking a lot.
That is. That's tough because he's an inexperienced back, and he needs all the help he can get, as does any rookie.
1st and 10 now on the Atlanta 34-yard line, and Ferragamo likes it upstairs. He's passed for over 200 yards today and intended for Denard, but he was out of bounds when he made the catch, and again it was Kenny Johnson's area. So Ferragamo is 13 for 26 for 202 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
And Joe Theismann hit Ricky Thompson for a 26-yard touchdown. 19-7 Redskins.
2nd and 10 on the Atlanta 34-yard line. So 2 big passes from Ferragamo, one for 74 yards for a touchdown, and that last one from the Ram 39 all the way to the Atlanta 34. 2nd and 10. Cullen Bryant going wide, turns inside Curry and keeps on going. And the big man still on his feet as he got inside the 20.
Yeah, the reason for that is the Falcons played pass defense. They thought they went into a double zone or a double man for man, either one, you can't tell. And they dogged 58 Williams. Ferragamo made a good call, ran the football, gave it to his best back, and they picked up a 1st down.
So they pick up 18 yards on the carry by Cullen Bryant, and they have it 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 16-yard line. Denard goes left, Miller right, and they split Peacock and Bryant. And now in motion goes Denard. He's picked up by Kenny Johnson. And they're going to lead it into Willie Miller's territory, juggled and dropped by Roland Lawrence. And Lawrence has had 1 interception today. He could easily have had 3.
Exactly right. He had 2 right in his hands. That Ferragamo tries to throw the ball away here. And Lawrence had it right in his hands, juggled it.
So a reprieve for Ferragamo. He has it 2nd and 10 on the 16th. Roland Lawrence, a family of 14 children, so he's accustomed to holding things in a crowd, but not that time. 2nd and 10 on the 16. A quick handoff to Cullen Bryant, but the Falcons read it, and down he goes. Curry and Richardson making the stop.
Well, they dogged there, and they read it right. They had a good call against that particular play. Here it is. Good dog.
Richardson, number 56, is playing on a bad knee. He was out for 2 years with a knee injury in 75 and 76. He also had troubles in 77. It's flared up on him again, but he's playing. 3rd and 11 on the 17. Denard left, and Drew Hill is back in there to go wide right. Hill slanting across the middle. Ferragamo with a lot of time goes the other way, and Arnold makes the reception at about the 5-yard line.
You know, what you said, a lot of time. He didn't even have to throw the ball in. He had 4 full seconds to throw the ball. You can't play pass defense if you give any quarterback. Watch this protection. Great job by the offensive line. A good job by Ferragamo of holding the ball and picking out the man that's open. Crossing pattern.
So it'll be 1st and goal on the 5 on that reception by Walt Arnold. Then they have Waddy going right. Denard is left. Ferragamo will give to Cullen Bryant, who slips trying to make a cut and drops at the 5-yard line. And right there with him was Jeff Merrow.
You know, then the difference in the second half is Ferragamo's picked up the 3rd down and long. Now, that was 3rd and 11, I believe, that previous play that he hit Arnold on. They've been able to pick up yardage on 3rd and long, which is excellent for the offense, but the defense shouldn't be giving up those 3rd and long plays. You can't give them that.
One of his big plays, he had a 3rd and 19 that he converted. So 2nd and goal from the 5. They're going to give it to Peacock. He has Hara. He tries to cut inside Hara, and he pays the price. He's caught from behind. Joel Williams and Jeff Merrow were there as he tried to cut back.
Well, you have to have real good speed to sweep a 34 defense. Now watch this. Everything takes the defense to the ball carrier. The fullback leads the play. The offside linebacker, 58, makes the play from behind.
You know what would be amazing? Earlier, the Rams had 1st and goal on the 5, and that'll settle for a field goal. Yeah. Now they have it 1st and goal on the 5, and it has come to 3rd and goal on the 6. And Ferragamo looking in the end zone, and down he goes. And it's Buddy Curry who drops him on the 15-yard line.
Well,
the rookie out of North Carolina, number 2 draft choice, and he's been all over the field.
Well, we've been bragging about 50, Buddy Curry, but also I want to say something about Ferragamo. He does not put the ball up for grabs. He holds it and takes the sack. The receiver that he was trying to go to either was knocked down or fell down. I don't know whether we can see it. So he pumps the ball and holds it because he knows a field goal is what they need at this time.
Nolan Cromwell is holding on the 21-yard line. 31-yard field goal by Corral is up and good. And there is a flag on the play, and it looks as if the preliminary signal, it's against the Rams. And I believe it is. Yep. It might be holding against Los Angeles. So Jerry Markwright, the referee, will mark it off and give the call. So on a 1st and goal from the 5, twice the Falcons have held the Rams. That's rather startling.
They have. They've played gutty defense today against one of the top offenses.
Number 55, offense, 4th down.
Well, it was all right holding against the Rams. So Corral will now have to kick it. A hold by Nolan Cromwell at the 31. Watch the snap from a weary Dennis Hara. He's had to go all the way ever since Doug Smith was hurt. The snap, the kick, the hold, it is no good.
That's how games are won and lost.
So with 9 minutes and 54 seconds left, the Falcons are alive. The Rams leading 10-6. This is the game. 4 and 3. The Falcons have it 1st and 10 on their own 24-yard line. With 9:54 left in the game, the Rams leading 10-6. William Andrews, who's been a horse all day, fights his way out across to the 31-yard line. He has to get to almost the 34. By the way, since it is such a big play, after the Rams had evidently connected with a field goal, it was nullified on a holding penalty, and we wanted to be absolutely sure as to the guilty party, and we find for sure it was Carl Eckern. All right, 2nd and 2 on the 32. And Kane, they'll go to Andrews. First down across the 40 to midfield and dragged down at the last minute by Rod Perry, or he was gone.
We talked about the offensive line of the Falcons. They have big tackles and big guards. They're strong there. It's just a pick-a-hole play. He started weak and then cut up the gut. Here's another angle. Starts weak like he's going to go off tackle. Veers right up the gut, breaks a tackle. Game-saving tackle by Rod Perry.
1st and 10 on the Ram 45-yard line. Out of the eye, they go to the short man, and Kane or I should say Andrews, who has to be weary by now, picks up a yard or 2.
And then it's all the same type of play. Up until this last series, they only had total yards of 46. And they've done all this on the ground without throwing the ball.
Andrews has carried the ball 18 times for 98 yards. Lynn Kane has carried it 6 times for a -3. So their ground game is named Andrews. Jenkins goes wide right. Jackson goes wide left. 2nd and 7 on the Ram 42. They'll try Kane. He's chased by Mike Fanning, but he appeared to get the first down. He did as he got across the 35.
He did. He dragged the tackler. He was hit short of the first down and dragged the tackler for a first down.
Lynn Kane from East Los Angeles, Roosevelt High, USC, and Atlanta. They're the twins, Lynn Kane and William Andrews. They have to make the ground game go. So far, it has been all Andrews. Lynn Kane on the right, William Andrews on the left. 1st and 10 on the Ram 33. We have 7:22 left in the game. Francis in motion to the right. Andrews refuses to go down. First down inside the 25.
Then your offensive linemen love this. They love this. When they get back in the huddle, they tell him, Steve, let's keep running that football. Let's run it right down their throat.
William Andrews is 24 years old, 2 years from Auburn. In his first game he ever played against New Orleans, he rushed for 167 yards. So he can go.
He did that on his own.
They'll try Kane to give Andrews a breather, and Kane is going to be grabbed down from behind by Jim Youngblood and met up front by Jack Reynolds as he got to the 20-yard line.
They're not going to do much running wide in the Ram defense. They were very fortunate the last 2 times they ran wide, one to the left, one to the right. They didn't lose 3 or 4 yards.
So William Andrews has carried for over 100 yards. First time he's ever done that here in Georgia. As we said, that big game, 167 yards in his debut, was in New Orleans. So 2nd and 8 on the Ram 20-yard line. Jenkins is wide left, Francis wide right. Miller is the tight end on the right side. On a draw to Andrews, he bulls his way inside the 20 for a yard or 2, and that's all.
You know, in this professional football, the National Football League, you can hammer away, Vin, you can hammer away and run, but sooner or later, you have to throw to make the yardage to win the football game. Now, their thinking should be, hey, 2 field goals, we can win. We can't get hit for a loss. We can't give the ball up on an interception. That's what their thinking should be.
The Redskins knocking off the Saints.
And Mosley kicked 5 field goals today.
3rd and 6 from the 18. 10-6 in favor of the Rams, and the Falcons trying to catch him on this drive. Bartkowski grabbed by Jim Youngblood and down at the 28-yard line. And they lose 10 before you can blink an eye.
They did just what I said they couldn't do. You got to have a pass call that you can get rid of the ball quickly. Everyone trying to get a touchdown. Try to get a touchdown. You win or lose these ball games with field position. That's what we used to call a 66 dog. Nobody picked up Jim Youngblood. Now, Mazzetti is not a long kicker. It puts the pressure on him.
John James will be the holder, and Bartkowski comes away empty, of course. He had a 1st and 10 on the Ram 20, a 3rd and 6 on the 18. Now James will be holding at the 35, so this is a 45-yard field goal. Mazzetti's longest was 40 yards. This one is up, and this one is no good. And the Falcons really let a golden opportunity get away, and listen to the Boo Birds. We have 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in the ball game. The Rams 10, Atlanta 6.
We've talked about him. He's played a heck of a game. Here he comes. He's trying to rush right through. Now he's going outside.
Doug France and Kent Hill double-teamed him to push him away.
But it doesn't look like he got hurt there. Maybe I think he just twisted it as he stopped and turned.
Yeah, he had foot injuries and surgery in '79, and they'll miss him. So Jeff Merrill goes to the sideline. So it's a 3rd and 6 for the Rams. And Williams will sack him on the 19. Joel Williams able to come through to get him.
They used a double coverage, a double man or a double zone, which they've been doing. Now watch Elvis Peacock miss his block here at the bottom of the screen. 58, Williams beats him to the inside. You take him outside. You give him one way to go. Force him outside.
So now Corral on a 4th down with the line of scrimmage at 20, and little Reggie Smith standing on the Atlanta 40-yard line. 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game. Corral will get it away, and now let's see what the little man can do. First, he'll retreat to the 26, pick it up on a bounce. Sully missed him, but he's boxed in by Delaney, and down he goes. He got across the 30. Joe Harris down there to put him away. And so, with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game, the Rams 10, Atlanta 6. For the Falcons in the ball game, but the offense has sputtered, and they're still trailing 10-6, and now beginning to run out of time. Bartkowski has it 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 33, and the running backs. Jackson is wide right, Jenkins left, and Bartkowski will send it up, but not until Youngblood brings him down. He was bumped on the side by Larry Brooks, and Jack Youngblood made the sack. And Bartkowski now has been sacked 6 times. And remember, he had not been sacked in the first half.
All the second half. Here it is. Now the Rams can play pass rush, pass defense. Youngblood.
2nd and 20 from the 23. The pass to Wally Francis. He's upended at the 46-yard line, and he would have been gone except for the tackle by Jeff Delaney. Well, and we come to 2 minutes.
He called it a pass that you can get off in a hurry. A quick pass, 5 steps, a seam pattern by Wallace Branson. Good call, good execution.
At about $4.50 a quart, this is one of the most expensive motor oils in the world. Or is it? If you drive 25,000 miles a year, the money you save on gas, oil changes, and oil filters alone can add up to $83. Up to $83 by switching from conventional 10W40 motor oil to synthetic Mobil 1. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas and more.
I'm Joe Duncan, State Farm agent, Cincinnati, Ohio, speaking for thousands of State Farm agents around the country. You know, there are a lot of reasons why people come to State Farm agents and stick with State Farm agents year after year. I think one of the big reasons is service. State Farm built its reputation on service. People expect it, they are paying for it, and we deliver.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
for Atlanta with 1 minute and 58 seconds left in the ball game, trailing 10-6. They have it 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 47, thanks to that pass to Francis. Jenkins wide left. Kane and Andrews, they've been the running backs just about all day, with a brief appearance by James Mayberry. Bartkowski with some time. Deep, intended for Francis, out of the hands of Johnny Johnson. And a flag on the play. Johnson had his hands on the ball but couldn't hold it. Now let's wait about the flag. Illegal procedure against Atlanta.
Well, they went on a quick count. They went on sound. When they go on sound, they go on the quarterback's voice, the first sound uttered. And that happens many times. You have somebody moving illegally. You know, he underthrew that ball, that last pass, Ben.
Illegal formation foul. Offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. First down.
Only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That was the illegal play. So that makes it 1st and 15 on the Atlanta 42. Halftime, the Cardinals leading the Colts 7-0. Bartkowski sending Jackson wide left. He has Francis in the slot inside Jenkins to the right. Kane and Andrews the running backs, and they stay in to try and block. And here come the Rams to devour him. It's Jim Youngblood and Larry Brooks, and that is the 7th sack in this half.
Ben, I was just talking to Sandy, and I said let's see if we can see the Rams dog, and that's what they did. Here they come. They're coming in with 6 men. Can't pick it up. Another angle on it. They have a man over the center. Both Brzezinski and Youngblood dogging. You got to have a play design that's going to pick up the 6 or 7 rushes or get it off in a hurry before they get there.
Shows you how the fortunes of a football team can change in a hurry. On the pass to Wallace Francis, Atlanta had it 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 47, and the next thing you know, they are 2nd and 27 back on the 34. With 1 minute 47 left in the game, Rams 10, Falcons 6. We have 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the ball game. The quarterback sacks. The Rams had 6 all in this half. And on a 2nd and 23, we'll see what Bartkowski can come up with. Youngblood chasing him, and Youngblood has got him again as he got around Warren Bryant.
Well, see, then Youngblood, an outside rusher. Youngblood rushes outside. You're not going to roll out or scramble outside of Youngblood. He's an outside rusher. No chance. Now you almost take yourself out of any possible first down.
The quarterbacks have taken a beating today. There have been 12 sacks now, 6 on each side. The only startling thing, Bartkowski had not been sacked in the first half. Ferragamo had been sacked 3. But in the second half now, it's 6 sacks to 3 in favor of the Rams. They've really come on strong defensively.
They did it that time without dogging.
The Falcons are not only running out of time, they're running out of timeouts. They only have 1 left. So Ray Malavasi is within 1 minute and 42 of the Rams' 6th consecutive win. And, of course, it would open up a gap, too, in the Western Division standing.
It would almost give them the division this early. They have a 2-game lead on the Falcons. It's 3rd down and 38.
That's right, 3rd and 38.
38.
That's when you come in to say to the quarterback, what do you got?
Run a quarterback sneak.
So 3rd and 38 for Steve Bartkowski with 1 minute and 42 seconds. And I guess if time runs out here in Georgia, you could dust off the phrase about for one brief shining moment, it was Camelot, but not for a full game. 3rd and 38 on the 19. Bartkowski has time because they give him the time. He has Jackson, who takes an awful lick at the 45, and down he goes at the 45. That's not enough for a first down, but it got 37 yards of it. The clock is still running with 1:25. And Reggie Doss is injured back on the Atlanta 15-yard line.
Timeout on the official.
So Reggie Doss, remember, he's had to play almost the whole game because Fred Dreyer's hurt.
Yes, the reason this is possible, only a 3-man rush. Give him time to throw the ball. A seam pattern, 8-man covering, only 3 rushing. When you give any quarterback time to throw, he's going to hurt you. Now they have a chance. Then, what do we got, 4th and 11?
We have 4th and 11 with 1:23 left in the game. Doss and Youngblood have had to go all the way at the ends because Dreyer came out with a bad ankle. And, of course, if Reggie Doss is able to continue even for the last minute or so, somebody's going to have to play out of position.
Yeah. They have number 95 in there, Murphy.
Phil Murphy. And Reggie Doss coming off the field, shaken up, but fortunately under his own power. It is 10-6 Rams, 1:23 left. The Falcons have it 4th and 11.
You know, Vin, right here, you get the first down. All you think about is getting the first down. You don't think about a touchdown or a field goal. Just get 11 yards. Get the first down. And defensively, you think, don't give them the first down.
Jenkins and Francisco right. Jackson the other way. Kane and Andrews behind Bartkowski. 4th and 11. They're not coming, and he's not going for the 11. He's going to Jackson. Touchdown! Holy mackerel, he beat Pat Thomas.
Oh. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
And they're eating him alive in the end zone.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. From 3rd and 38 to a touchdown.
54-yard touchdown play to Alfred Jackson.
And you know what? When the Rams went to the 3-man rush, he's 2 for 2. The 3-man rush. Give him time to throw. And he had a possible first down guy there. There it is.
Take a look at this now in slow motion. The Rams are not going to come. You only see Murphy, and he's nailed at the line of scrimmage.
All day to throw.
And the bomb, Alfred Jackson and Pat Thomas. Watch it. He just got it from Pat Thomas and took it in. Touchdown. And all of a sudden, Tim Mazzetti now has a chance to make it 13-10 Atlanta. And we have 1:15 left. A 54-yard touchdown, and Mazzetti is equal to it. Boy, what a play.
Unbelievable. Here it is again. Another angle. Murphy, the man over the center, is double teamed. Everybody's double teamed. When you only rush 3 men, you got 6 blockers on 3. Now he actually overthrows Pat Thomas. And Jackson stayed with the ball. I think Pat Thomas ticked it. I think he hit it, which is to the credit of Alfred Jackson to stay with it. Look at the double team on 95. Double team on both ends. Now here's the ball. Looks like he missed it, but nevertheless, it's great concentration on Alfred Jackson.
Well, the Rams are a great football team, as you see Alfred Jackson, who just pulled off that 54-yard miracle pass, a 7th-round draft choice 2 years ago out of the University of Texas. He was a teammate of Earl Campbell. They were roommates. Campbell has gotten a lot of headlines. Alfred Jackson will get a big headline tonight in Georgia. Jackson's 4th touchdown pass of the year. Now the Rams with 1:15 left to get their hands on the football and get a field goal to get even.
And they have 2 timeouts. I believe the Rams still have 2 timeouts, which is very important.
So Tim Mazzetti teeing up the ball on the Falcon 35. Deep, Drew Hill standing on the Ram 10, and this place going wild. The kick will be to Drew Hill short. He'll take it at the 8, to the 15. Got away from Anthony Anderson and is bumped out of bounds after he crossed the 30-yard line.
You know, the same tactic. He started up the middle, branched outside, which allows him to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Those contained men have to come down and box it in. There it is, Rams, 2 timeouts. Now, all the Rams need with Frank Corral kicking is a field goal to send it to overtime. Ferragamo's a bomber. I'll guarantee you he'll go for a big play just like Bartkowski did.
By the way, Frank Corral has made 8 of 10 field goals, and Corral's longest a 47-yard field goal. So we'll have to keep that in mind as you look at the Atlanta defense.
Let's see if the Falcons rush with 3 or they rush with 4.
1st and 10 on the Ram 32. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the game. Drew Hill in motion to the right. They have 3 receivers over there now, Willie Milley and Billy Waddy. And Ferragamo deep down the right to Drew Hill, and he can't hold on to it. He ran right by Roland Lawrence and looked like he was going to make the catch.
That's right. He had it in his hands. If we can see it on the replay, Falcons are rushing with 3 men also, giving him the time to throw. Watch this throw. Going for the bomb right away. Ferragamo's a bomber. Good pass. Here it is.
Lawrence was thinking interception.
He was. He misjudged it. Lawrence misjudged that.
So it is 2nd and 10 on the 32-yard line.
This game is far from over, Ben.
59 seconds left in the game. Ferragamo is 15 for 30 for 223 yards, but only 1 touchdown. 2 interceptions. Overshooting Peacock, the intended receiver. It stops the clock with 54 seconds left.
And the reason why number 75 was right in his face. Jeff Merrill, 75. Had a heck of a game today. He's right in Ferragamo's face.
So Vince Ferragamo, who had 2 interceptions in the first half, had a 1st and goal twice today on the Atlanta 5, and they came away only with a field goal.
That's right. Again, I say you got to get the first down. If you can gamble, but the odds are against you. You got to get the first down.
3rd and 10 on the 32 with 54 seconds left in the game. Denard is inside Miller. Drew Hill goes left, and Ferragamo set with a lot of time. Throws through the hands of Willie Miller. He might have had the sun in his eyes, and that could have been the problem.
That's true. You hit it on the head. I've had some similar experiences down here. Right over there on the visitor side of the field, you're looking directly into the sun.
Because the ball went right through his extended hand, and normally Miller's going to catch that ball. So you have 46 seconds left, a crowd of 60,749 paid, and they're on their feet.
4th down.
4th and 10 on the 32, and Malavasi with a 5-game winning streak and a 1-game lead might see both of them wiped away here.
You got to get the first down.
Willie Miller is left. Denard inside Waddy in a slot right. Ferragamo needs 10 yards to stay alive. Down the middle, he's got Billy Waddy, and Waddy is upended inside the 45-yard line. And that gives him a first down, and it has saved them for at least 36 more seconds.
A lot of time. They're still coming with a 3-man rush. 6 blocking 3. He can survey the field, look him over.
Timeout Rams.
Rams took a timeout, so they have 1 timeout left. Here it is again. Slot formation. Crossing pattern. Preston Denard. That was a big play.
Great pass from the Ram 32 to the Atlanta 44. Denard making the reception.
You know, Ben, this is a great game to win, a tough game to lose. Falcons could lose it here. 1 more first down. Rams are in field goal range with Frank's strong leg, or possibly an overtime game. Ferragamo will go deep in the end zone. He'll try to hit a bomb. And you know, you can throw a 40-yard pass in 3 seconds. You can throw, if you throw the right type of pass, you can throw a bomb, and it takes less time than another type of pass.
So after seeing a 54-yard miraculous touchdown to Alfred Jackson, now the big pass from the Ram 32 to the Atlanta 44 to Denard, and Ferragamo has 36 seconds left to at least get into field goal position. Denard inside Waddy on the right.
Oh, look at the time.
Throwing to Cullen Bryant, and he made the reception. Loose ball, and it goes out of bounds.
Out of bounds. That shows you Cullen Bryant's concentration and receiving ability. He caught that ball looking right into the sun.
The clock is running down with 15, 14, 13 seconds. The clock is still running down.
They better take a timeout.
And the Rams wasted precious seconds. Now they're calling timeout with 6 seconds left on the clock.
Well, you know what they thought? I'm sure they thought
the clock stopped when the loose ball went out of bounds.
Went out of bounds. Oh, they lost. They had chance for 4 or 5 plays with 36 seconds. Let's see. We're going to see it again. Here it is. 3-man rush, all day to throw. Looking downfield, he decides to dump it off on a hook pattern. He has it, fumbles it now when he's hit. The ball's behind him. The ball goes out of bounds. Now the official ruled the ball. The clock still running, and did not rule the play out of bounds.
Look at Ferragamo. He is steaming. 25 seconds, he's saying, we lost on that. The ball went out of bounds, but it was allowed to run down. And now with 4 seconds, the clock on the scoreboard is still running down. And apparently the clock was wrong. And the officials agree, and they will rewind it.
If there's 4 seconds, they have to go for a field goal.
Officially, there's 15 seconds left, we understand. 15 seconds left.
Well, I can see Vin's side of this. The ball goes out of bounds. The clock stops.
Right.
But I didn't see the official give us the arm motion that the clock would still run. Usually they give you a signal over there.
Frank Corral loosening up on the sidelines because the Rams will need his leg to just get even. It is 13-10 Atlanta. We have 15 seconds when they finally crank the clock down to that mark.
Well, Frank can kick it from there. He's got a strong leg. I've seen him kick them in practice 60 yards or over.
It is a 2nd and 6 on the Atlanta 39-yard line. And Atlanta with a timeout, but the Rams now have used theirs. So 2nd and 6 on the 39. Denard and Waddy go left. Miller goes right. Bryant and Peacock behind Ferragamo. The backs release. Ferragamo deep to Miller. No good. It's out of bounds. The clock stops with 8 seconds left.
Well, then he has time. It's a question of what you want to do. He has time for one more play. He throws the right type of play.
He sent Drew Hill in, so we'll see now if Hill is going to go deep.
Yeah, see, the fact that they have one timeout allows them to have a little more freedom in what type of play they're going to use. They could even run the ball here.
So Ferragamo on a 3rd and 6 from the Atlanta 39. 8 seconds left in the game. 13-10 Atlanta. Waddy is left. Drew Hill is right. Ferragamo has got his man. It's Peacock who gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Oh, 1 second.
And according to the clock, there's 1 second left.
1 second. My gosh.
And Frank Corral.
Is that ever cutting it close? Imagine if he'd have been tackled. They didn't have no timeouts. Atlanta has 1 timeout. They didn't have any timeouts left. If he's tackled there, the game's over. Imagine how close they're cutting that. Now the pressure is on Dennis Hara as well on the snap.
Nolan Cromwell will spot the ball on the Atlanta 45-yard line. Remember, his right hand is all taped. So this is a 55-yard field goal for Frank Corral. He kicked 155 for UCLA. His kick is up, and you watch.
was straight. It was short. It was right on target. A little bit high snap. What a game.
Take another look.
Here it is.
Corral hit it as hard as he could. Look at it. It was almost dead straight.